Good morning, Patriots. I just made a video a while ago that I was going to post about us allowing Muslims from, to run for office in the United States. I only have one question, and the only reason why I decided to do this video instead is because that question needs to be answered. Why are we electing people who do not believe in God? This is a nation, one nation, under God. And we need to figure that out real quick. This is God's country, not Muslim country. You want to come here to the United States and pick up our values and enjoy the American dream? That's fine. You want to worship how you want to? You can do that in your own home. You can go to your mosque if you want. That's fine. But I don't believe you have the right to run for office in a country that is for God. See, it doesn't align with your religion. So why would you want to represent a country that does not represent your religion, that does not align with your religion? Okay? We are a Christian nation, and we have Muslims here running for office. Ilhan Omar was one of the first ones I've seen. I was actually shocked. I was blown away. I never thought in a million years Americans, Christians, would elect someone like her into office, our office. You might as well go ahead and let every blow Joe around every country come in and run for American office. It seems like the only office they can't run for is the United States, the president, because they're not a natural born citizen. I think that should go for all positions. Why would someone who does not align with Christ in a Christian nation want to run for office in that country? It's only one reason, and that is to instill their will, their God, to push our God out. That is what's happening. And I'm sorry, but it's not going to do it. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. I will not allow it. And I don't expect any of you other patriots out there to allow a non-believer, someone who does not believe in Christ, to sit here and run your city, make your laws. Does not make sense to me. What are we going to do about it? I know what we need to do. We need to be more vigilant. We need to be prepared. We need to be ultra prepared. We want peace, but always prepare for war. War is ugly, but you have to understand God created violence for a reason. Sometimes it's a necessary evil. Whether you like it or not, that's the only thing your enemies will ever understand. You can't run from violence. You can't legislate violence out. The more and more you keep violence pushed back, the more problems you end up having. See, I remember back in the day, you stepped out of line, you got handled. And when you got handled, things went right. Nobody messed around with you. Nobody messed with you. Everybody was orderly. In school, when I was growing up, and we'd get in fights. We'd handle it on the recreation yard or after school. Now, they'll call the cops. You get arrested, get a ticket, whatever it may be, get a record. That's the problem. We had a system that worked. You came in and threw a monkey wrench into that system. Now, guess what happens? People get that built up energy and that built up anger and that built up hate to where they can't take it anymore. And then they go further than just a little fist fight in the yard. You have to understand, when we were growing up, we didn't have school shootings. We didn't have all that crap. Why? We handled stuff ourselves on the yard or after school. And when it was all said and done, nine times out of 10, we had a new friend. We shook hands afterwards. We had respect for each other. That's where respect starts. That's where it is. And you're interfering with that. Oh, they shouldn't fight. Well, yes, you have to build warriors. And they started at children and grow up. That's what the whole thing is about, to prepare you one day to stand against the enemy that will kill you. School fights, that's just training. That's just training for the real thing that's going to come one day. And you're interfering with that, so therefore they're afraid to stand up for themselves. So now you're creating victims. Now you're creating submissiveness. And it can't be. There's nothing wrong with two boys or girls going out and handling business, squashing the problem, giving a hug and a handshake, and making new friends. They've just made an alliance with each other. They tapped it out. They tagged it out. Let the best one win. And we all have respect for each other. If you whoop my butt, I'm shaking your hand. I whoop your butt, you're shaking my hand. Because we took care of the problem. And we created an alliance. And we got some training out of it. Because the real fight down the road, well, we don't want it to be new to us. That's why it's tough country boys. Always ready for a fight. Because that's the way of life. That's training. And then when they go to the military, they go a little tougher than what they would have if they hadn't had you stand in their way. Making them weak. We're creating weak kids. If two boys have a problem at school, let them handle it out. Hell, if you want to be extra safe about it, put headgear and some boxing gloves on them. I don't care. It's still training for the protection of themselves, this country, and their family and communities that they're training for now. It is a necessary evil, whether any of us like it or not. I'm glad, and I thank God every day that I had that opportunity to stand toe-to-toe with the ones that we had problems with. They're some of my best friends now. They're some of my good friends today. They've got my back, and I've got their back. I didn't have teachers standing in the way of that. We didn't let them. And we didn't have school shootings either. We had guns in our vehicle. Pistols under the seat, shotguns in the window. We handled business. And when business was done, there was a handshake, respect, and we moved on. We didn't look back. We need to get back to that. Kids are at school. They got issues with each other. Let them handle it out. If you're worried about somebody getting hurt, put a headgear on them. Put some gloves on them. Let them go at it until they're exhausted. But at the end of it, there will be respect. That is just the way of life. And we're trying to supersede that by going around that when it's necessary. You really, really think about it, it's necessary. School trains the kids to defend themselves and to use their hands. And then they go into the military and then they get that training because they've already been there. They got a little feel of it. They got a lot juiced up and they're ready to go. And then they come out to be great warriors. That's why this country is as free as it is. Now, you keep them from doing that. Some of them don't want to join the military. Some of them are afraid to get hurt, maybe get scratched. You're making our kids weaker. Let them hash it out. It's healthy. It's the right thing to do. And it prepares them for the future. That's all I'm going to say. We Americans need to get it right. We're allowing other people who do not believe in God and believe in this country to come in and overtake it through ballot and birth. And it needs to stop. These people do not need to be in office. They do not need to run for another term. We need to get them out of here as soon as possible. And if they run their term out, look at them closely. Look at what they're doing. If that's not incentive enough for you to vote an American in to office who loves this country, who loves God, who loves our Constitution, then you're voting for the wrong person. Don't do that. It may cost you more than you think. Guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to let y'all enjoy the day. I'm going to enjoy this day. And I will talk with you again later. If you got anything out of this, hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button. Shoot a comment. Let's talk. If you don't agree with me, prove me wrong. Talk to you later.